Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Daytona Speed Weeks continue here in Season 2 of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series with pole day qualifying for the Great American Race Daytona 500. Today we are going to have two segments, 15 minutes here for the first segment. Top 12 speeds will transfer into our second round, which will be 10 minutes long. Those 12 drivers will determine the front row for the Great American Race and the respective pole sitters for the upcoming Gatorade Duels. I'm Seth Colbean, joined here in the broadcast booth by a guy who knows a thing or two about Daytona. He won our Clash race here yesterday. That is Mr. Michael Norman.
Hi, I'm back up here again. What's up?
Well, we got qualifying here today, and these drivers here, I think that we've seen this in multiple seasons, whether it be in Duracell Cup Series or any other series. Here, to get the really good laps to transfer into the next round, you're going to want to have drafting partners.
True. Absolutely. You don't want to really be out there by yourself. I mean, obviously, when it's the start of this qualifying session, you'll probably be by yourself. And I'll be honest, it's going to be quite weird seeing a 3-car out there that's not me.
And I'll tell you what, it's going to be quite weird for me as well, because this is a traitor. Right here, Carson Gum. He was with Backmarker Motorsports back in Season 1, and then he did not confirm that he was returning the following season, so we ended up having to release him from his ride, and then he decides to sign up when the signups came out, so now he's over with another team.
Well, he probably didn't pay attention when you put up the signups.
No, he probably didn't.
Yeah,
He probably didn't, but he's still a traitor. But he's over now with Team Chevy Autosports, who comes up with these names.
Ha ha ha, very funny. It's a lot better than any of your names.
Well, okay, to be fair, I guess so. I don't know. But Carson,
Backmarker Motorsports, God, what kind of name is that? But
Carson going to be teammates to two rookies this season, the 21 of Marcus Sachi and the 31 of Derek Hamill. We'll be seeing them during the course of this qualifying session, but bringing over his sponsorship of Toontown Rewritten for the Daytona 500. Drop back here to Levi McIntyre. We saw him in the Clash. He was running the Avengers Endgame sponsorship then. He's running the Sprite colors here for the Great American Race. Of course, Rockin' Ranch Racing, a championship team with Dollarton taking the championship last season, but Levi McIntyre, he's still looking for his first Duracell Cup Series victory. And maybe, just maybe, he can get it done here in the Great American Race. Got a pack of cars here. James Qualls, the Castrol GTX Toyota Camry. Of course, Joanna Atwood Motorsports moving to Camrys from Ford Fusions that they ran last season. Behind him, you got Austin LaPlante back in the very familiar pink, white, and black allied banking colors out of Northeast Motorsports. It's not ugly, it's beautiful. It's better than what NASCAR did.
Sure.
And then we got this guy in the 72. And
nobody knows who he is.
Nobody knows. The Netflix imitation game.
Oh my God! Is that what I think it is?
It
for that
is. It
car?
Is indeed. I don't know if this. I'm not exactly sure if this race is going, or this qualifying session is going to be airing before Dylan Young's race is, but he is going to have a car similar to this over in his series. So I don't know if this is the debut of the car on YouTube in this video or not. But Jessica Shelton in the 02 out of S3 Motorsports running the boxy Chevrolet. And just because I can, let's take a better look at that thing. Boxy's coming
to get you. Oh my God, I never snort when I laugh, and I just did.
Mitchell Collins there, back with Young Motorsports, the number 22 Pennzoil Ford.
Oh, thank God we don't have to see that car anymore.
Collins was a winner last season at Kansas.
I know what she did. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be ranting about this. Well, not really ranting, but I know what she did. She took the Matt DiBenedetto's idea.
Yes, that's exactly what she did.
Oh no, was it Matt DiBenedetto or was that Corey LaJoy?
It was Corey LaJoy, actually.
Corey LaJoy. Okay.
Although I can't really say anything because this is going to be going up probably a month or a month and a half afterwards. But I'm running in today, actually. Michael and I are both going to be running an online race at Progressive Super Speedway, and I'm running a Progressive car that has Flo's face on the front. So I don't have any room to talk.
That reminds me. Did you upload my like Sonic car to the CTS physics?
Don't think I have, but I think I sent it to you with CTS physics. Regardless, we're looking here at
I
Benny
guess I'll
Watson.
find out.
Benny Watson.
No. Yeah.
Well, then you go look.
I don't wanna.
It's your life. Benny Watson there in the number 75. He was, of course, in the championship battle at Homestead Miami Speedway last season. Had a shot for the title, but came up 7 points short. Our winner from the Throne of Games 500 at Darlington.
Wow.
You know, who comes up with these names?
Wow.
There's Cole Baker, the number 11 Arizona Iced Tea Chevrolet Camaro for Backmarker Motorsports, moving from the 18 over to the 11 because somebody else wanted the 18. Here's one of our rookies.
He didn't have to give it up.
Good point. There are 6 rookies in this season's Duracell Cup Series field. Wookiees. 6 Wookiees. And so we are actually going to have a Rookie of the Year award. We're looking at one of our rookies here, Casey, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this correctly, Casey Nanako. I believe that's how you would pronounce it. Driving for Auto Junction Racing, will be a teammate to the 78 of Ryan Butcher. So that will be a 2-car Toyota team this season. Kyle Matthews, the Kings Island Chevrolet, of course, had that battle with Michael Norman yesterday in the Clash. And, of course, Norman came out on top. Matthews finished second, but
literally
Kyle Matthews...
because he used the top drive.
Literally, you're actually right. But Kyle Matthews, our winner from Bristol last season. Wyatt Quayle, back with Joanna Atwood Motorsports. Hershey's is back as a sponsor on his number 41. He was a winner at Dover last season. Here's Sebastian Kukulon in the FBI Open Up DC Solar Chevrolet Camaro.
Oh my God.
He's another of our rookies this season. 4th entry out of Backmarker Motorsports. Behind him, Jordan Lopez, the number 38 out of Blue Oval Automotive, or BOA. And he's got NVIDIA sponsoring him again this season, but both his NVIDIA and Asus Republic of Gamers sponsorship liveries got refreshed. And there's the other entry out of Auto Junction Racing that I mentioned, Ryan Butcher. Now, this car will look very familiar to people from last season, but there's a little slight difference. The number is different, and the manufacturer is different. He ran this paint scheme.
And you're different.
I'm always different. Every morning I wake up different. But Ryan Butcher, of course, was a winner last season at the road course of Pensacola, but he was driving the number 24 Chevrolet at the time, now over in a Toyota Camry. And, of course, had the heartbreak of the season probably last year as he had a win, and I think it was by 1 point. He missed out on making it into the playoffs. Benjamin Miles, this is his farewell season. He'll be retiring at the end of this year, back with Northeast Motorsports for one final try, and trying to still get his first Duracell Cup Series victory. Still with the Hertz sponsorship, but he has changed his number to the number 33. And I know this is giving you some flashbacks, a Hertz car at Daytona, Michael, because, of course, he won the Season 9 Daytona 500 in your Budweiser All-Pro Series.
Yes, he did. It's different number, same sponsor, same looking car.
There's the number
also
9.
Going back to what we were saying before, I checked, and I don't have that Sonic car as a CTS. It's just a cup.
When this race is over, you will have it.
Okay, cool.
Johnny Gardner there at number 14.
Look who's jumped up to the top of the board.
That's the card that we were just about to focus on, but we're going to focus on him in a minute because he got past. Johnny Gardner in the 14, the Nutri-Chomps Chase Briscoe-looking scheme out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports. Saw him in the Clash yesterday. And there is the guy you were just talking about, Ryan Brommer, as Bulldog Motorsports. The only 2 challengers in the field again this season, but both with the same drivers behind the wheels. Rogers in the 6, that being Zach Rogers, and Ryan Brommer in the 9. Different sponsorship for him. He was sponsored by Pepsi last season, but he's also being sponsored by Pepsi Vanilla this season. And right now, a very fast Dodge Challenger.
I wish people would just leave soda alone.
Leave soda alone, please. Speaking of soda, there is Charles Sanford in the Coca-Cola Zero Sugar Vanilla Chevrolet Camaro. Finished 3rd in the Clash last night.
Is there really a
yesterday.
Coke Zero Vanilla?
Yes, there is. I know because they have 4 cases of them downstairs. The only soda that my mom and my sister will drink. Keith Batson, the number 39 KAB Racing Enterprises Ford Mustang with the POW MIA sponsorship. He's also sponsored by Blue Angels. We'll see that car this season. Jesse Turner, we saw him win the pole for yesterday's Clash, and I think he finished 10th in the Clash race, if I recall correctly. Back with the sponsorship of Aflac, but a different-looking Aflac car. He had the...
It's still Carl Edwards.
It's still Carl Edwards. That is correct. He had, I believe it was blue, orange, and white for his Aflac scheme last season. This season, he's got the blue, green, and black. And then behind him, we mentioned Ryan Butcher moving over to the 78. Well, moving into the number 24 is another rookie this season. That is Alexander Rowe for Northeast Motorsports, the Red Bull Chevrolet.
Who's currently second on the board. Who's currently second on the board right now.
Oh, we got a spinner coming to pit road. Oh, that's Ryan Butcher.
Well, at least it wasn't the pole sitter.
It's a good thing we've got that fake turf, whatever it's called. Didn't rip up that car. Wink, wink. Anyway.
Oh, wait. Let's go back and see what happened. I think he got turned by somebody.
I think he did too. Somebody else got turned. Alexander Rowe just wrecked. Okay, all of a sudden everybody's wrecking.
What happens if he has to go to a backup car?
That's what I'm wondering. If he has to go to a backup car, he would forfeit his spot moving on to the next round. I don't know if they're going to get that thing repaired.
He's going to have to. I saw the damage. He's going to go back to pit road and go back to the garage.
Oh, that car is off the pace, too. Oh, what a tough break for the rookie. Yeah, front and rear damage. There's no way that car is going to transfer to the next round. So with him running second, bear in mind, we're going to then be looking at who's going to be 13th on the running order, because they would then move on to the next round over the 24. There's his teammate William Brock in the 88.
The car in front, does he have damage? The 30. It looked like the 30.
39, yeah. Keith Batson had some right side damage. I think he's the one that actually got into the 24 of Alexander Rowe, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, well, we should totally look at that.
Well, we will look at it. We will look at it once the session comes to
No, we won't look at it right now.
No, we won't. Okay, fine. You know what? We'll look at it courtesy of the NNSCRA Split Cam. First time we're using it this season.
Are you actually going to... No, let's just wait.
Nope, we're doing it. Split Cam is down there.
You don't have to break
Look
up.
at that beautiful split cam. Meanwhile, the champ is here. Chris Dollarton, the number 42.
The champ is here.
The champion from last season. New sponsorship for him, the KFC Ford Mustang out of Rockin' Ranch Racing. Do they have ranch chicken at KFC? I hope so.
They have ranch sauce.
They have ranch sauce.
There is the ranch sauce.
Good enough. Single car entry, Toyota team out of Haas Racing. Matt Haas, poor guy, was left high, wide, and dry during the offseason as the team he drove for, Unknown Motorsports, completely folded up. Diego Yepes, Julius Anderson, and Jay Jefferson, who are all his teammates, did not re-sign, so Matt Haas had to go to a single-car team all by his lonesome. And there's a guy who knows a thing or two about winning, took a checkered flag yesterday in the Clash, Michael Norman.
Currently 12th.
Yep, you're ready.
So with the 24 having to give up his spot, it looks like
Zach Rogers would be in right now in the 13th position.
Yeah, Rogers would be in.
Try and quickly here in this final minute and a half show the rest of the drivers you'll see this season.
I think we've covered everybody.
Hey, look, there's that car again, Michael.
Oh, God.
There's another of our rookies, Marcus Sacchi, in the 21, the Sandvik Chevrolet Camaro for Team Chevy Autosport. And you can see they did bring the backup car out for Alexander Rowe, so he will not be transferring into the next round.
Wow, they got that quick.
Scored. Cody Lamas, another rookie in the number 84, fourth entry. He's a rookie, fourth entry out of Michael Norman Motorsports, the Florida Panthers Camaro, or Camry. I can't tell what a manufacturer is. That's a Camaro right there, folks. Saw Ryan Acosta in last night's Clash, or yesterday's Clash. It wasn't even in the nighttime. The Auto Owners Insurance Camry.
It's a Camrio.
I love it. Jose Mills, the number 98 Louisiana Hot Sauce Ford Mustang, four-time winner last year.
That's what we have to refer to every Toyota now, is Camrio.
Camrio. There's Vince Almriego, moved over to Backmarker Motorsports, still with the number 42 and Target as the sponsor. Carter Friesen, our Daytona 500 winner from last season there. 34th on the charts, though, for the Wendy's Camaro. Dylan Young, new colors there for the Wawa Ford Mustang on his number 2. I think I covered everybody, but I'm not sure. Nope. Derek Hamill there, the number 31. I think he's the last rookie. The Lego Chevrolet Camaro. Adam Garcia, we saw him in yesterday's clash, the Cheez-It Ford. And I think maybe I covered everybody now. Oh, nope, Matthew Rodriguez, the 57, the Paint Schemes Anonymous Toyota Camry out of Michael Norman Motorsports. Did I get everybody now? I think I did.
That just about covers everybody.
I think I got everybody. Well, there's the guy that's going to definitely be moving on to the next round of the qualifying session, as he is P1, Ryan Brommer in that Dodge Challenger.
Spot, real quick.
13th is, it changed. Norman got dropped down to 13th place, so Zach Rogers is out. Norman is currently in the final transfer spot.
I don't wonder who it was that knocked him out.
I think it might have been Charles Sanford. Oh, no, I think it was Matthew Rodriguez who jumped up to third. Because Matt Rod is in a pack, I think, just in front of this group. Well, he was. That pack just dissipated, and the session is complete. So 12 of the top 13 will be moving on. Alexander Rowe, of course, not going to be moving on to the next round, as he had to go to a backup car. So the 12 drivers that will battle for the pole position. And this is kind of interesting. I'll cover something in just a moment here, but it'll be Ryan Brommer, Matthew Rodriguez, Charles Sanford, Johnny Gardner, Matt Haas, Vince Almriego, Jesse Turner, Jose Mills, Matt McIntyre, Chris Dollarton, Adam Garcia, and Michael Norman, who will move on to battle for the pole. Now, here's a little bit of trivia. This is very interesting because Johnny Gardner was the pole sitter for the Great American Race last season. He's moving on to the next round with a chance to start on back-to-back Great American Race poles. However, he wrecked in his Gatorade duel last year, had to give up the pole position. The driver that finished, I believe, with the dual win number 1 last season moved up to the pole. Guess who that was? Vince Almriego was the unofficial pole sitter for the 500, and he moves on to the next round as well. So this is very interesting that kind of a story. Both drivers are moving on into the next round of qualifying. But who do you like here out of these 12 that are moving on, Michael?
Do I really have to say it?
You're definitely going to go with Charles Sanford, right?
Totally. Actually, no. I'm going to go with my teammate, Matthew Rodriguez.
Well, good chance here for a Michael Norman Motorsports car to start in the pole. 3 of the 4 moving on.
3 of the 4, so I have a chance to get the top 3 spots if I really wanted to.
You do have that chance, but guess what? The champ is moving on too. Chris Dollarton's going to be moving on to the next round. So.
If my AI cars want to all work together.
If they do want to work together, which, it might happen. This is not rigged at all. Anyway, let's take a look and see what the rest of the starting lineup for the 500 is going to be. So Alexander Rowe, he is scored second, but he will be starting at the rear of the field for, I guess it probably will be the second duel, as I think he was the only one that went to a backup car. Keith Batson had that right side damage, but they got that car repaired and back out, so he doesn't give up any better starting position for his duel. And we saw Ryan Butcher just went for a solo spin. He didn't get any damage either. So the only car that's going to a backup car for the duels is going to be the 24. And so it's kind of jumbled up of who's going to be in what duel. So you'll probably have to wait till the end of this video to see who's in what duel for each driver. But for now, we're going to step aside, let the drivers that moved on to the next round have the opportunity to cool down their engines, and then they'll go out for 10 minutes, and we'll see who's going to be starting on the pole and the front row for the Great American Race, so don't go anywhere. Round 2 of qualifying set to be run here. 12 drivers moving on to this final round. And we do have to make a little bit, or I need to make a little bit of a fix to something that I stated back at the end of round 1. I stated that Alexander Rowe was the only driver that went to a backup car, and as consequence would start near the rear of the field for his respective duel. That's incorrect. Keith Batson, who was also involved in the wreck with Alexander Rowe, went to a backup car, so he actually is going to be at the rear of the field as well. I believe, based on where they were in the running order, Alexander Rowe will roll off from 20th in Duel 1. Keith Batson will roll off from 20th in Duel 2.
That's only for the duels, right?
That's correct.
If they don't wreck out the duels, then they get their spot wherever they finish.
That is correct, yep. The only drivers that really will lose out on a starting position if they wreck in the duels would be, of course, the drivers that qualify for the front row in today's pole day qualifying.
What are the odds of single car qualifying for this? We just have a bunch of single cars go out there. It's not really a draft.
It's possible. I mean, we are running the 2019 rules package, so there's no doubt about it that if we do have 2 cars lined up, that those will be the cars that will be the ones to watch towards the top of the board. But it's a pretty big track for 12 cars. They could find themselves separated enough to just have single car runs. But I doubt with us having 10 minutes in the session that that's going to be likely.
True.
So Matthew Rodriguez was 3rd fastest in round 1, which technically would be 2nd fastest with Alexander Rowe having to withdraw. And let's see, the fastest speed in round 1 by Ryan Brommer was a 41.396. I'll be very surprised if these drivers break the 41s this time. I think we may see some 42s, but I don't think we'll see any 41s.
Oh, there was a couple of cars coming out in the pack right there.
Yeah, Matt McIntyre and Jesse Turner, a Toyota and a Ford coming out together. So they've got a strategy here.
Gotta have drafting help some way or another.
See if there's anybody else that's got an opportunity to work together. Yeah, you got Vince Almriego, Michael Norman. Norman now catching the 42.
And he's going to quickly go underneath the 42 car.
Yeah, Michael Norman, I think, got a little whiff of draft at the very tail end of that lap. He's at top of the board, 45.166. And they might be able to close in on the 43 of Chris Dollerton. So we may have a Ford, Toyota, Chevy. I
can't talk! That's awesome!
Oh, man.
Woo! Chevy,
and what was the one that we had before? A
Camrio.
Camrio. A Chevy Camrio. Someone's got to get in touch with Toyota and Chevy right now. Have them merge and make that a thing.
44.19 for Michael Norman this time by.
Coming to Season 3 of the Duracell Cup Series, new manufacturer. Oh, man.
It's the front of a Camry, but the rear of a... It's the front of a Camry, but the rear of a Camaro.
Good Lord.
Oh, this is what happens when you get us together in the booth.
It is. It always happens. It always happens. Freudian slips by the dozen.
Someone just broke into second place there.
Yes, they did. That was Jose Mills. Let's see where he's at. Oh, Johnny Gardner just cracked the 43s. Those are the two. Those two actually are together right now. They're side by side now. But that was actually the two of them working together that got them those lap times.
Michael Norman just popped back up there.
And I would watch this pack. This is the only group of 3 out there. Sanford. Oh wow. What are the odds that a Pepsi and a Coca-Cola car are working together?
I don't know.
Okay.
No idea, but here they come across the line.
And Charles just jumped to the top of the board with a 43.718. That is about 2/10.
Stop copying my number.
It's about 2/10 faster than Michael Norman. Let's see what Michael and Vince can do this lap. Michael improved. Wow, 43.518, but Vince Almriego with a 43.496.
Well, that's what happens when you're the last car in a draft, and they've caught the 43 car. So now they could see these cars go just a little bit faster.
It's going to hinder their progress a little bit, though. They're going to have to get back up to speed. This right here could be the car that jumps to the top of the board. Matt Haas, last car in a 3-car pack, and there you go, 42.809.
So looks like we're going to be watching dual packs here. Let's go back up. Let's go back to the other one.
See if Almriego can top that. We'll see if them catching Dollerton slowed up his lap time at all. Yeah, it did. He was 10 slower.
They're gonna have to do one more extra lap here to get back up. 206 going off into turn 1 right there.
Chris Dollerton fades the back of this group, and so now they'll get themselves lined up. So I'd say it's going to take maybe another lap for them to get back to full speed.
I don't know.
They might actually catch this group, this duo of Gardner and Jose Mills.
We'll see, though. They're coming through turns 3 and 4. Oh, they jumped into the 42s. But we'll see what happens here.
Let's see if Dollarton, who right now is 8th, if he can jump up at least into the 43s. And, yep, 43.605, so that puts him P6. Oh, look at this. Adam Garcia and Matthew Rodriguez got reeled in by Matt Haas, Charles Sanford, and Ryan Brommer, so we may see the 12 or the 57 jump up to the top here in a moment.
That's true. We'll see here. Usually it's one of the cars that was leading the pack.
See if they got hindered by catching them. Yeah, they did. Garcia jumped up to 4th, Matt Rod up to 7th. I think both of their lap times improved. Yeah, Matt Rod just ran his fastest lap, so too did Garcia.
We gotta wait and see, because sometimes in a bigger pack, these cars have to, like, let off or they'll start passing each other, and that might slow them down compared to, like, a 3-car pack who can run nose to tail.
Tell you right now, though, if Matthew Rodriguez can stay behind Charles Sanford, he not only had the draft of the 03 coming off 2, but he also had the draft of Matt Haas on the top side down the back straightaway. He could have himself a really good lap here.
We'll see. He stays right behind Sanford.
42.974, so he does break the 42s. He's the 4th driver to do it, but he's about a 10th off of Haas, Sanford, and Brommer. See if, Chris Dollarton's on pit road. So our champion, I don't think he's going to start on the pole position. Doesn't look like Michael Norman and Vince Almriego are making up a lot of ground on this duo who continue to race side by side with each other. That's not going to help lap times at all.
Nope.
Jesse Turner in 11th, Matt McIntyre in 12th. We saw them leave pit road together, but they've not been able to even get themselves into the top 10 for the speeds.
Nope, not at all.
Go back up here to this group as Adam Garcia ran at 43.078. I wondered if he might jump into the 42s as he was at the tail end of the pack that last lap, but nope. So right now, Matt Haas is just, if I'm Matt Haas right now, I'm darting and diving, trying to break up the draft here, because that might be a defensive way to stop anyone from getting a run to beat his lap time.
Yeah, that's true, but we'll see.
About a minute and a half left.
Possibly trying to go 3 wide there.
See if Matt Rod's able to get a run off the high side. Nope, that time by 3/10 slower than his fastest lap. There comes Chris Dollarton right now, P8. So right now, as things stand, it would be Matt Haas on the pole, Charles Sanford on the outside of the front row.
Remember that we've seen the outside lane get the most runs at this racetrack, so perhaps being in Duel 2 isn't exactly a bad thing, because you get to start on the outside.
Oh, you're talking about in the 500.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I thought you were talking about in the second duel.
Yeah, being in the second duel, because where you finish, you're on the outside row.
Yeah,
so.
that's actually not a bad thought, thinking ahead there. Good point. Adam Garcia just cracked the 42-second lap time. He's now up to 4th, 42.944. So right here in this group, these are the 5 drivers that have reached the sub-43-second lap times. But I don't really think we're going to have a change up there at the top of the board for 1st and 2nd place. Charles Sanford was 4th fastest in round 1. Matt Haas was 6th fastest, so they had fast race cars to start with. It looks like Sanford's saying, yeah, I think I've got the outside, the front row locked up, so he's coming to pit lane.
And before they knock him off in this run.
It could happen. There's still 30 seconds left.
Yeah, but they're not going to make it back to Rowland.
Well, if they can complete, well, actually, you're right. Yeah, I was gonna say if they can complete this,
they're not going to do it.
They might have time to be able to do one more lap.
Unless there's
they're going 3 wide though.
Unless there's another segment, like another quick 15, 20 lap, or 20 lap, 15, 20 second remaining thing.
Yeah,
they're not going to make it.
I don't know if. Well, I think there is going to be that, but I don't know if they have to get back to the line here first for that to count or not.
I don't know. I've seen laps not count when it's done this before, so.
Well, they just crossed the line, and I don't think the lap time changed for the 12 of Adam Garcia. So I think this group's lap times this group's lap times have stopped being counted.
Yep, it didn't count.
See if they count Dollarton or any of these guys up ahead. Dollarton crosses the line. Nope. They're not scoring anybody now. It doesn't look like. So I think that's it. Yep, that is it.
Charles like, oh, well, okay. And, right there as the 18 car finally found a decent pack.
Exactly. So Matt Haas, how about that? Single car team. We saw a single car team win the 500 last season with Carter Friesen, and now a single car team driver will start on the pole for the Great American Race. Put that in quotations because he does have to still survive the first Gatorade duel in order for that pole to officially count. And Charles Sanford will be starting on the pole for the second Gatorade duel, as he is right now scheduled to start on the outside of the front row. And an interesting thing I see about both of these drivers, neither one of them found victory lane last season. So they're both still looking for their first Duracell Cup Series win. Ryan Brommer, he will be on the outside of the front row for Gatorade Duel number 1. Adam Garcia on the outside of the front row for Gatorade Duel number 2. And, of course, for the rest of these drivers from third on down, this is not where they're going to be starting the Great American Race, because they can either improve or fall towards the back of the starting grid for the Great American Race, dependent on where they finish in their respective Gatorade duels. So they had a shot to start on the pole, but with them finishing third down through 12th here in this qualifying session, we don't yet know where they'll be starting for the Daytona 500. But that's going to do it here today. Michael, your thoughts heading into our two heat races, if you will, the Gatorade duels to set up the rest of the Daytona 500 grid?
It should definitely be a good one. Hopefully no wrecking. Everybody can start where they're going to start, and it should be very interesting.
All right, so that's going to do it here for pole day qualifying from Daytona. The debut of the Chevrolet Camrio. Good Lord. If you enjoyed today's qualifying session, be sure to give me a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We will be showing you at the end of this video what your two respective Gatorade dual starting lineups will look like. And, of course, those will be up next here this week to determine the rest of the Daytona 500 starting grid.
No, we won't. Stop being lazy. Go figure it out for yourself.
I will. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Everybody go figure it out for yourself. You're so mean. So we will see you for the cap-off for this week, the Great American Race Daytona 500. That's all to come here on the schedule here for Daytona Speed Weeks. But until then, I've been Seth Cole. He's been Michael Norman in his Chevrolet Camrio. And you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.